Welcome to the Finance Update. Adam Grocke from Johnston Grocke here with Riannon Diano,
Hello.
one of our brokers. Riannon, thanks for joining me. We're talking pre-approvals and the problem with pre-approvals and the buyer beware risk with pre-approvals at the moment, because there's some serious issues with pre-approvals being issued at the moment. So Riannon, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. First one is, what's a pre-approval?
A pre-approval is an application that's sent to the bank, and it has all the details of the client and generally gets assessed, and then a pre-approval is handed to the client, which means that all their personal details have been vetted and they are free to go look for a property, and it's pre-approved subject to their property being suitable by the bank.
Fantastic. So it's essentially some certainty that they can go out and purchase a property up to that amount and the finance is approved as long as the home is actually acceptable security for that lender.
Correct.
Perfect. And when should people get pre-approval?
As soon as they want to start looking for a property.
And that's a key fact, because we see clients all the time that come to us, they're all excited, they want to buy for 600, and then we say, sorry guys,
It's not happening.
not happening. You can only borrow for 520 or 550, and rather than build them up with expectations that aren't realistic, it's always better to get that pre-approval first. Now Riannon, you know I'm a massive believer in there's pre-approvals and there's pre-approvals.
Yes.
This is one of the buyer beware risks, a critical part if people are looking for property. Can you just explain the difference between the two?
Sure. So some banks have pre-approvals, and you could go see the bank, or a broker could even send you documentation to a bank, and they don't actually manually assess that deal. It's just a computer just checking off things, maybe checking your credit file and then spitting out a piece of paper that says you're pre-approved, when a human being hasn't looked at that application, so it's not really worth anything.
And that's a really good point. So we're seeing some lenders, I mean Commonwealth Bank's doing it out there at the moment, and what they do is, you know, it's a 10-minute conversation, oh, you're pre-approved, go out and buy something, but they haven't verified or evidenced any of your supporting documentation, so they're just going off of what that person says. You know, that's high risk, because that means that that approval is actually not worth the paper it's written on or the email that it's sent. So what we're finding is that if you were to go to auction or purchase, a lot of those are either falling over, or we're going to have to place that with another lender, and we're actually fixing a few at the moment, which have caused some serious problems. So
Yes.
you need to make sure that when it's a pre-approval, it's actually been assessed by credit,
Yes.
and credit has given it the tick of approval, and it's approved subject to a valuation of the property you purchased, so subject to you finding a property. Now, the clear difference, if you're watching this and you're going, what's the clear difference? How do I know which one I've had?
Yeah.
Ask the question.
Yeah, ask the question.
Yep.
And if it's taken 10 minutes, and it's probably, they probably haven't looked at everything.
No, that's right. So if it's been quick 10 minutes, and even ask your buyers, your clients, look, did you meet with them, or have you just spoken to them over the phone? Did it take 2 or 3 days for them to issue the approval? Has it been to credit? Has credit assessed it? So that's a really key point. So look, we're happy to help out with some of these. We're happy to even ask some questions for your clients. The only pre-approvals we do are ones that go to credit, because they're the only
Absolutely.
ones that matter. Otherwise, they hold no value. So thanks for your time, Riannon, and
Thanks,
your
Adam.
wise words of advice. Thank you very much, and we'll be back soon. Thank you.